Well, Sandro Tonali transfer battle is on. As I told you that, the moment we obviously commence April and obviously start of May, news will be really flocking in like no other. And today, we obviously commence the 22nd of April with a story coming in through from a very reliable source known as Court of Side about Sandro Tonali, as very many teams in Europe are really calling in for his signature, and you're waiting to see who is obviously going to be winning this midfield battle. Smash the like button, comment and share. Continue to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers on this channel and see to it obviously get where I want to be. Who is Sandro Tonali? Italian professional footballer, born in Lodi, Italy. He's 24 years of age and he has played for AC Milan, he has played for Newcastle, he has played for Brescia in there for you. He's also a player for the Italian national team. And how does this come about? It's the Court of Side that has gone ahead obviously break this story that one of the hottest assets in the midfield is none other than Sandro Tonali. He's telling us that Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Manchester City, PSG, and Real Madrid are all interested in signing Sandro Tonali, who has made it clear he's open to a move this summer. Newcastle would demand around 80 million euros for Sandro Tonali. Now, Sandro Tonali is one of those players that really went ahead obviously get back into football after serving a ban of 10 months. And last season, he played only 8 games. And this season, he has so far played 31 games in the Premier League. Now, we will look at Barcelona. All of these teams that have been included into the transfer, but we're obviously going to be looking at one by one and see whether there is need for them to obviously get in a Sandro Tonali. The first team is Barcelona. In the midfield, Frankie de Jong is there. They have Pedri. They're having Rodri. No, they're having Pedri. They're having Gavi. There is Casado. I think those are the credible midfielders that Barcelona really does have. But you ask yourself, do they need a player like Sandro Tonali? Obviously. Why? He can play as a CDM. He can also play as a number 8. And Barcelona have quite, for a very long time, suffered to replace Sergio Busquets. You understand? And I'm going to obviously see Xavi also come out and allege that one of the problems that he faced as a manager at Barcelona was a player known as Sergio Busquets leaving his side. And when he left his side, things were no longer the same. So we're here to wait and see how that pans out. But for Barcelona, I think they need Sandro Tonali. He'll obviously add a lot into that midfield. We go to Bayern Munich. Now, for Bayern Munich, they have Paulinho. They have Joshua Kimmich can also play in the midfield. They have Leon Goretzka. Even this other player, they really bought from RB Leipzig. He's an Australian. I've forgotten his name. But when you look at how they're really functioning that midfield, you obviously believe that they obviously lack some steel, in there, combined with talent. As Sandro Tonali is a modern midfielder, he's really aggressive, his intensity is right, his physical abilities are really out of this world, and even talent-wise, he's really very, very, very good. That is Sandro Tonali for you, and he's really doing a very good job in there for you. So, Sandro Tonali and Bayern Munich, I think they need him because they might obviously offload Leon Goretzka, and even Paulinho, whom they spent some good amount of money on, hasn't gone ahead obviously hit the ground running. So that means that Sandro Tonali will be a very good addition to Bayern Munich. Juventus, having gone ahead obviously signed Douglas Luiz, and they feel like they should obviously offload him. And even Man City is looking at Cambiaso, another midfielder in there. That means they're looking to obviously get in a player like Sandro Tonali. Man City, with Rodri obviously getting back from an ACL injury, and Nico Gonzalez obviously struggling to obviously get into their plans, I think that Sandro Tonali wouldn't be a very bad addition to the side of Man City, as we all know that players like Mateus Nunes and Calvin Phillips have failed to capitalize and really win a position into that midfield, and the manager will be Premier League looking to obviously get in a player like him. Now, PSG, Fabian Ruiz, Yao Neves, Vitinha. Obviously, they have a really beautiful three-man midfield, but if you are asked, is it enough? Is it enough? I'll tell you it's not enough, because if any of those really gets an injury, then they might obviously get back to 0-1. You understand? Yet for a team like PSG, you need to be having a very good bench, and I think right now that's what they should be working on. They need a bench that is obviously very, very good in there. So from that bench, from the side of PSG, Real Madrid. For Real Madrid, they don't even need one, they need two. I think a Sandro Tonali to Real Madrid will be a very big addition in there for their midfield, because he'll obviously get in loads of balls into the central midfield. And for Madrid, I don't think that they only need a Sandro Tonali. I think if they can go to Newcastle and really grab those two, Bruno Guimaraes or Sandro Tonali, or they get in Sandro Tonali and Martin Zubimendi, that will be something great for the side of Real Madrid, because Tchouaméni looks like he's not this kind of guy who can obviously lift Madrid as Casemiro and Toni Kroos used to lift it. So I think they need those two people, and for Tchouaméni to kickstart or hit the ground running at Real Madrid, I think he doesn't need to be the main guy, you know? He doesn't need to be the main guy who will obviously have to see to it that everything rotates on him in the midfield. Camavinga is good, but I think a Sandro Tonali and maybe a Zubimendi or a Bruno Guimaraes and a Sandro Tonali will obviously do well. Now, is Newcastle willing to sell? Obviously, at 80 million euros, they're really willing to sell the player. I think they bought him for 70 from AC Milan. They would have gone ahead to get in a profit of 10 million euros. But I think if Newcastle make it to the Champions League, maybe Sandro Tonali will hold in a little bit in there and tell Newcastle that maybe I want to be here. But with him signing a contract, I think, of 4 years, and this being his second season, if he doesn't extend his contract, maybe Newcastle will be like, let's sell him now and really make profit. But I don't think that if they qualify for the Champions League, they will let him go. I think they won't let him go, because they not either. The last time they qualified in the Champions League season of 2020, I think that was 2022, 2023. I think that's where they obviously finished fourth, and they played in the Champions League for that season of 2023, 2024, and they never represented to the fullest because Sandro Tonali was banned and he couldn't obviously feature. I think Isak was injured, Joelinton. They really had very many injuries. They couldn't obviously even drop into the UEFA Europa League. That is Newcastle for you. So this time round, if they qualify for the Champions League, that means more money for Newcastle, and Sandro Tonali might be pushing for such stories to go into the media to see to it that obviously Newcastle thinks about him to obviously offer him a new contract, because a team like all those teams I've gone ahead obviously talk about, they can offer him a contract of close to £200,000 a week plus. So if they've gone ahead to offer him that amount of money, then Newcastle has to increase Sandro Tonali's weekly wage, because he earns £120,000 a week, meaning that they need to obviously add more money to keep him around. And I know that might be the ideal reason as to why they've gone ahead obviously put out this story. So guys, tell me your thoughts about Sandro Tonali transfer battle, and if I told you Sandro Tonali, where would you want to go, and which team would you really advised to obviously put in a very huge showcase or fight to obviously sign Sandro Tonali? Rokani David remains my name, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. This is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. We out for now. Bye bye, and see you later, my mates, because you have been really very loyal to me, and I know what you're obviously going to be doing in here for you. Bye bye for now. I'm out. See you when you see me.